Hi, everyone. It's really great to meet you all. I am excited about the opportunity to attend this short course that Romeo put together. I'm going to introduce Romeo and the concept of this series of digital events. As you know, the B2B growth support group is actually a business ecosystem. We're trying to help anyone in our business ecosystem network and put together and market valuable ideas and concepts. So if you have valuable information to share with the business community, we support you by organizing for free these webinars and by sharing your knowledge to the world. It's amazing for you as a channel to promote yourself, and it's very good for our business ecosystem to learn from your experiences, from your valuable ideas. Every week, we have a guest. This day's guest is Romeo Mann. I was impressed with Romeo ever since we met about a year ago. Is that right, Romeo? So I guess about a year ago, Romeo works mainly with B2B companies in software, usually mid-sized companies. He has a great background with managing digital marketing teams. I would assume that some of you already know him because I see that some have joined from his network of contacts. If not, we're going to provide you with links to his contact details via LinkedIn. Romeo has been generous enough to share today with us tactics for highly converting sales, tactics and strategies. So I'm going to let him take over the presentation and continue from here on. Thanks all for joining again.
Cool. Thanks a lot, guys. And just give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen and everything is okay with the screen at this point. Like, do you see it's, you can hear me well and you can see the screen. I just want to make sure everything it's okay before we get started, so I don't talk in vain. Is all good, Loredana, Wana?
We can see your screen and everything is okay with the voice and everything. All good, thank you.
Great, great. Okay, so let's get started. We have a lot of content here, and just want to tell you what we will talk about. We talk about sales enablement, or how Gartner calls it, buyers enablement. We will see why. We talk about B2B traffic in a bit, and about B2B conversational marketing. So how to actually get that traffic and convert them into leads and sales. So what I need from you guys, I really need to be here. I know that you went to a bunch of different webinars and Zooms and so on and so forth, but if you want to put things in action, you need to be here and ask a bunch of questions at the end. Just write them down, put the questions so we can jump in. For the purpose of efficiency, it would be great if we put those questions at the end of this webinar, so we can go through the information, because sometimes it happens that the answer is already there in the content. So a little bit about me. I like to say that I'm a sales guy in a marketing body, let's say. I have like around 10 years experience in this field, and previously I worked in corporations, mainly in learning and development departments in different areas, from logistics to manufacturing to e-commerce and SaaS. So today I'm running just a really cool boutique agency where we embed our teams with the tech companies, and we help them with generating leads, closing more tech clients. But in this webinar, what's very important is what content we build, how to build that target traffic, and how to convert that traffic. So basically we have content, traffic, and conversation. These are the three three main pillars what we do here. So let's go in part one. We talk about building that buyer enablement content. So you guys most probably know this funnel. You know the funnel of the visits, leads, MQL, SQL, so on and so forth. And it's the HubSpot taught us this way back in 2008, and it's a very simple funnel. But actually, it's not that simple anymore. Like if we look at Gartner, they can see that in the research that they made, around 27% of the people research independently, and around 17% meet with potential suppliers like tech suppliers or any kind of B2B supplier, which means that especially now with COVID, the 70% will go even more down. So understanding buyer's perspective, that's more important, not necessarily marketing or sales. Understanding our buyers, that's where we need to look at. And we see that Gartner with their studies, I just want to put this so we have a better understanding of the whole landscape today. They say that 77% of the buyers stated that their purchasing is really hard, right? Maybe internally or externally. So it's actually hard to buy different solutions, especially tech solution. And what they found is that there are six main pillars that they need to do, six main jobs, activities that buyers need to do. And this is very, very important to understand from the beginning before we do any tactics. They need to have the problem identification, like they need to identify that problem. They need to identify solution. They need to have that requirements build up, and they need to select the suppliers. And after they do that, they need to have some validation that those suppliers are good, and then a consent creation from all the board members of the organization. So these are the type of jobs. And if we look at the journey, it became really complex, right? Like you might saw this B2B buyer's journey, and you might know this. So this is just a refreshment, just to understand that the funnel that HubSpot was teaching us, it's becoming absolute because of this complexity into B2B buying process. So this is getting harder and harder. So what is very important that we need to build information. So we need to build content. We need to come with this information. And they also see that there is almost 3 times bigger likelihood for purchasing if you are an organization, if you are a company that drives content and brings information on the table so that it helps this buyer journey, right? So there are 2 types of information we can do. One that is help us to know what to do and how to do it, and then the other one to help buyers actually with dissect and help with very job related activities. So those kind of validation type of jobs within the journey, which means that, and this is very, very important, especially in sales, that there are 2 type of salespeople will be divided in 2 type of information: authority and connector. So the authority is the one that knows all the information and brings the information on the table, and the connector is the one that says, okay, I don't have that, maybe those information, but I can connect you with people or departments that have that that information. So they see a likelihood of 40% in increase in information connector versus the authority. So sales leaders, at the end of the day, we need to do 3 things, right? Identify what's hard, create that specific buyer enablement content, and ensure that buyer enablement is available across all the channels that we are creating. So if we do that, there is already, if they reach out to us, 57% of the chances that they will buy from us. So that's the thing. Inbound leads is super important because they're down the line. So that's why step 1 is to do that ideal customer profile as deep as possible. I know many of you told you this, and I know that everybody's talking about this, but really go really deep into this. We did this is our example. I will give you access to this, so don't want to go a lot of deep in this. I will give access to all of these documents. So we go into ideal customer profile. Here's the link. We will share all this information with you, so don't worry about getting access. It's recorded, as far as I know. You will have all the access of all the activities, so don't worry about this. So this is the template to copy. Then strategic messaging map. Okay, we had that persona, but how do we identify what's that value messaging? What are we selling, and how do we position ourselves? So we do this with strategic messaging maps. So here I don't want to go again deep, because you will have the documents, but the main idea is to identify all the buyer personas in that buyer's journey and build those values and messagings for each and every buyer persona. It's more in depth, you will see in the template. So we then do content research. So we take those values, the USPs that are really, really important, and we use tools like Ahrefs, BossSumo, Answer the Public Quota to really understand what's there already in the market, what type of content is there in the market that you can actually build. And this is how it would look like. So, and again, 90% of the marketers make the mistake to skip this step, and it's really freaking important. In our case, we look at this. If we have a buyer persona which is CEO and it looks at growth, and we know that growth is important, retention rate is important, and having the team goals aligned, this is the persona that we have for our agency. We go out and we research what are those type of already content out there that speaks to that persona and that speaks to that particular value that I want to address, right? So this is super, super important. So what kind of content is out there for buyers enablement? It's clear, like blog post, ebook, case studies, webinars, mini courses like this, virtual summits. So those are the type of content you can do based on, again, buyer persona and the value. Now, if we go into sales internal teams, obviously you need to have those sales scripts, the product service sheets, competition comparisons, email, LinkedIn. So all these kind of pitch deck proposal, you need to prepare this content, again, based on the buyer's journey and based on the value and templates. So we've included in this video and in this 3 different templates. I will give you a link where you can download all this. You have ebook templates, pitch deck templates, and proposal templates that we use. So you could just take it, implement it, and move on. So I know it's really fast, and I just told you a few things, and the background work in there it's a lot, but again, with those templates, it take you by the hand and you can start implementing. So conclusions at this part is that you need to have the ICP, the ideal customer profile. You need to understand what strategic messaging you're doing there. You do the content research and you create that content, ebook, pitch deck, proposal, right? So these are some of the basic elements of buyer enablement that you should definitely think at. Okay, so at this point, you had this and you think, okay, great, now I need to drive traffic to this, right? So traffic can be really hardcore because it has so many tactics, right? So here, the purpose and what we need to understand is that in the end, our goal is to ease the buyer's journey with the right information that they need each step of the process. So this process, that's your role. Like as a B2B marketeer, you just need to ease there with information in the right moment. So before we jump in, you need to understand the core concept of traffic at the end, right? So again, I look at it as shopping, right? Like you have the window shoppers and you have very specific IKEA shops. So if I want something very freaking specific, nevertheless, it can be also window shopping. But if I want something specific, if I want the furniture and I know which furniture I want, I go to IKEA, I buy the furniture, I'm out. Yeah, and then on the other side, you have those window shopping that you go into the mall and you don't know what to buy, and then you're just looking it up. The same is with traffic, very specific, and windows. Sometimes Google and the social part. So Google is the IKEA, and so the big four, we know them. Google, very specific. YouTube is like the TV, so you need to understand what kind of that you're interrupting someone when you're creating ads for that. The Facebook, that big billboard, right? It's like a huge billboard, and you're presenting, and you're again need to think how you are disrupting the people that are on Facebook. And the LinkedIn, the Chamber of Commerce, I would like to call it. Like if we make this comparison, the Chamber of Commerce, where you go to meet very niche people. And then I love this quota. Quota, I like it, and I like to compare it like with the meetup, right? Like I go to a meetup and I meet with very few people interested in a very hot topic, and that's how I compare to. So if we look at the traffic temperature, is obvious. We might know it easy: cold, warm, hot, right? Like depending on how we drive the traffic. And at the end, we need to combine this traffic and content. We have that ungated content and gated content. So the ungated content is where nobody needs to opt in. The gated content is where people should opt in. And in the end, this is the main molecule of digital marketing. So we need content for traffic. So that's why we talked initially about those content pieces in the buyer enablement part. Now, ungated content, again, articles, videos, podcasts, you don't need to opt in. Gated content, ebook, webinar, case studies, checklists, whatever. Yeah, like these are those things. So if we go into some free traffic tactics that we use to bring B2B traffic, we talk about LinkedIn remarketing, quota, and a webinar method. That it's easy. We are doing it all the time in One Digital. It works, and you can also try it. So first thing is LinkedIn remarketing. Like if you don't do it, start doing it. Go into your account assets, simply go to account assets, go to insight tag, and there just put that tag into your website right away. It will start identifying the people that come to your website. As soon as you do that, create a Zapier with between your CRM and LinkedIn. So this is how we do it. At this stage, we are using Drip for our email marketing. So whenever we have a new subscriber, we go in, we just go and find the right subscriber. So we test it, and we link it to LinkedIn. So we have LinkedIn matched audiences. We add that email to an audience. In that way, all the people that come into your CRM will be now an audience in LinkedIn. And why you need that is because with that audience, then you create those, you can create lookalike audiences, and also these sponsored ads on websites. So this is what we do to promote some of our gated content. So remember, you need to have at least 300 people in your audience for this to work. But this is a no-brainer. So basically, you just select your locations based on that, so you can target. You go to meshed audiences here. You have the list uploaded. You click on that, and then you will have that drip contacts, right? Like or from Zapier. That if it's valid here, it means that you can start using it. You can exclude people. In our case, we are promoting here an ebook, so we exclude all the people in here, and you make that sponsored ads. What we find is also in-mail ads can work. Now depends on you uncheck this enable LinkedIn audience network. We don't see really working. And you put a small budget like 10 euros, 20, 30, depends. Just test and see if you are getting some traction. So this is the type of ads we would use. Like we just and what I want to draw the attention to is the comments and the likes. So what we are doing is that we try to also go out and do some social, increase a little bit the social likes and engagement on our ads, because that brings much more relevance, signals for LinkedIn that our ad is good. So then what we do is that as soon as they opt in, we would outreach. So also on LinkedIn. So we know that some people, like, what are the people that came from LinkedIn tracking? So why not also going back on with the Sales Navigator? If you don't have Sales Navigator and you're doing your sales, just have it as soon as possible. So we identify all the people that downloaded the ebook, and we just go back and we ask the simple question: hey, I saw you downloaded. What do you think about the ebook? Did you find it useful? Yeah, and then the conversation starts there, and then you can start conversations through through LinkedIn and understand what is the pain that they are having, and then go into to a call, right? So again, especially now in this time, not sales messages but content messages. Guys, just let me know if what we are doing now at this point is useful. Give me a thumbs up or comment, or I just want to understand if the content is good, and I should focus on something else.
Romeo, the content is very good. The comments are all about excellent, and I think the people like how practical you get into the actual examples. So keep going.
Cool. So then step 5 is to create those email sequences. So what we do is that we are using Drip to make the campaigns, and this is a whole different story about how to write the emails, how to prepare. So we don't have a bunch of time here on doing that, but what you can see here is the open rates and the click-through rates. So we are really gathering quite good open rates, mainly because it's content, and we focus on that kind of conversational content there. So this is very important. Now, that was the LinkedIn method. This can be done with any other social ad platform, depending on on your audience, right? Like on who is actually in there. So if you are, let's say, doing online courses and your audience is on YouTube, maybe this would work on YouTube also better because they are used to video. So it all depends on your target. So remember that we only use sponsored ads. You could use email ads. So that's beautiful because you can just start sending messages only to the people that visited your website. It's another story. How do we bring that first cold traffic? And this is the second tactic that we are doing. Not SEO, not, SEO is really hard and time consuming. It's very good. You should do it. Create good content. But before that, look into quota. And we use the promoted answer method. I show you how we bring cold traffic to our ebooks webinars. Let me get some water. Step 1, find a question that you know your buyers will check on quota. So again, always you go back to your buyers, to your values, and to that journey. You always have that in mind. And you think, okay, what are the questions that they might put? And answer one of those questions with the description. I will show you the example here. So first is, we work with software houses in Poland. Let's say we want to target this, right? So obviously we ask, what are the best software houses in Poland? This is maybe you might think that only clients of software houses will go there, but no, actually the software houses go there and answer those questions. Everybody says that they are the best. Now, and they put their clutch thing there. Now, I answered here with a question like, okay, I'm not working in a software house, but few months back, we went deep dive and we looked at top 13 companies in these companies. And then I put what companies I did and what is in the ebook. And then at the end, I just told them, to be honest, through Clutch, it's a bit weird with their ranking. Like, for example, we are also one of the top agencies in Poland, but we are a very small team. So I don't know how the ranking works. Maybe it's just checking the reviews. So I will not always trust Clash. So I'm just explaining. I'm also giving some kind of thoughtful information in the answer. I'm not just promoting my ebook. I'm also telling them that maybe the clutch ranking that everybody was putting here is not really correct. Now, we did some ads on this. So imagine, just look at the answer, how much space of, let's say, placement for your ad you have. Like it's full. You can write in the answer a lot, tons of things. And now look at the views. Like we had 73K views, and we got those views because we put traffic on it. And I will show you how. We went and we retargeted all the quota traffic that sorry, I will rephrase. We retargeted all the people that went to our website on quota also. So, and we said, okay, we want conversion. That's the objective of ebook downloads. There you have the conversion event. You need to create this event in quota so quota knows that. It's very important. It's the same with all the tools. Like you need to have few conversions till the algorithm knows and optimizes for you so that it puts the ad in front of the right people that will be more likely to convert. Now here, step one, we target the audience. So the audience is tofu means top of the funnel. So that cold traffic, we know they came to our website. I usually like to put the date there just for me to know when I created this audience. And then in the ad format, I put promote and answer. Very, very important. You don't put image ad or text ad. And just think about it. What Quora and Facebook and all of these social platforms want? They want you as a user to actually interact more with their platform. They don't want you out of their platform, right? And if you make an ad that takes people out of that platform, they will make you pay more. It's obvious, right? So that's why promote and answer works well here, and we pay really not that much as with the others because we keep them on Quora, right? So we have we just put here the link of that previous answer. I have a preview of the answer, and that's it. And Quora is really great because they are just starting out with ads. It's quite new. This is the link where you can go to set up everything. It's like 30 minutes setup video course on how to optimize your Quora ads. They talk about promoted answers. So start thinking, what are those answers that you can bring on right away? So that's tactic 2. And obviously you use 4 and 5, the LinkedIn method. I mean, you can go and reach out to LinkedIn and then the CRM. So you can combine all these. Cool. Now, webinar method. Just think about the questions because webinar and ebook method. Let's go into this. Step 1, we like to use a lot of Facebook ads here, mainly because we see that we drive them to Facebook events. And it's the same story. Don't take them out all the time from the platform, keep them in the platform. So if I'm pushing people to a Facebook event, to another Facebook, let's say, feature, I'm not getting them out, then I'm rewarded with lower CPC, cost per click. So that's the thing I'm doing. So I'm creating that campaign again with conversion, like with the objective of conversion. That's what I care about at one point. So, and here's the key of Facebook. Why we create so many videos? Because I can retarget anyone who saw a video at least 10 seconds, right? And videos are viewed So I can create videos like this video, for example, will be shared on different groups. You will see the video, other people will see the video, so on and so forth. So it's easy to get a lot of views, and then based on this views, I can remarket those people who saw at least 10 seconds of this video. I know 10 seconds is quite low number and the quality might be not that good, but still. The point here is called traffic, and you have that you need to reach to more people, and later on you can filter in your CRM. So what we have here, all visitors, 180 means one in the last 180 days. We have all the people who reached to it video, and we have a lookalike, so similar. It's a little bit broad, but still. And then we exclude, very, very important, don't show the ads to people that already want to go to your webinar. We exclude anyone who actually submitted a form. We use paper form for the forms that we create in the last 14 days, right? So because this is a webinar, we do webinars every 14 days, so exclude the ones. You don't care about the location because you have the all visits, so you don't really care about that. Now, as soon as we do that, we just obviously have the event. Here, I think I have a video. Yeah, it's a GIF. So we do the submission of that form. That's your conversion event. That's what we'll be focused on. Small budgets, not big. And this is the interest based. So when we are doing the whole what type of companies we are targeting, so we are putting like layer interest. So they say, okay, if they are interested in this and in this type of pages. So this is what we are doing again here at the audience. And we usually leave it at automatic placements because either way, Facebook will optimize it. So next is the type of ads we do. So we started to test and we see better results with ugly ads than with beautiful ads. Don't ask me why. Maybe it's more natural, so on and so forth. So here we have a very nice designed carousel ads and so on. And here on the other side, you have my very ugly handwriting video. I just made a video telling people what will be this webinar about. And we saw much more engagement with the ugly handwriting that I had. I have no idea what's in people's mind, but we just tested. Yeah, please.
So I wanted to say something that there's quite a bit of research, even in today's video I posted, how in the low touch economy, being authentic is very important than being personal. So I guess this is why you produced actually higher engagement. You are being authentic and personal, you know, to take time to write by hand. Yeah, so.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Nevertheless, it's funny because it's much easier to create this type of video ads in terms of time than building this designed, beautiful, cropped out, transparent type of images. So sometimes it's really funny. Like we even write it on a piece of paper, and just that. And you might say, "What the hell, man? This is B2B." Yeah, it doesn't matter. People are on Facebook, they enjoy it, and if you bring value, that's all you need. So you combine this content, this webinar with that personal touch. So then we just put it in the webinar landing page. We drive it, and here it's very important. Thank you for subscribing. Congrats, you will come to the webinar. Don't close there. You just send them to another lead magnet. And this is where we started to combine the power of webinars and then tell them, oh, by the way, if you're here, this would be the obvious next step for you if you want, right? It would be obvious if you would be interested in the ebook, right? And then the whole things that in LinkedIn. Again, during the webinar, this is just a screenshot from the webinar. We are promoting with the CTA the actual that actual mini course, like this mini course, for example, because we created mini course on that I will tell you at the end. And in the end, obviously, follow-up emails with that mini course. Like, again, I'm going to the mini course or to the ebook. So they came into the webinar, but we are going and telling this is the obvious next step. So I know this can be complex. So this is where funnels come in place. And this is something that we started to develop in a more comprehensive mentorship program where we are taking you by the hands and we are building all these things together with you. But it's very important. So in conclusion, in this part, we have type of traffic, we know the big four plus quota, traffic temperature, we understand the content types, and we have that implement those three tactics that are really easy to do. Part three, so we have the traffic. Now, how do we remove that friction? How do we start conversation with customers? Because whatever, I have traffic, but I don't talk to people, not the best idea. So sometimes this whole process can take weeks. Like you can have emails. All this kind of nurturing, another email, fill in the form. Are you qualified? No, you're not qualified. Schedule a call. No, don't schedule a call. And this can be very frustrating. And this is why I think demand gen relates way too much on forms. And the guys from Drift, they gave me this data. We are partners of Drift, and they see that 1 to 2% of the actual web traffic converts. Like imagine 1 or 2% of that traffic in the spend a bunch of money. Then a lot of we are losing buyers because 81% of the tech buyers don't fill out forms. They don't look at that. And this is data again from Drift, so it's purely on research. And then we don't follow up, and this drives me crazy because we make so much effort to do all those funnels in the background, to do all those ads, all those things to attract, and 58% of the companies actually do follow up with people who fill in the form. So even like you have 1 or 2% people who convert on forms, and then you don't follow up. It's like crazy. So, and also if you look at chat, if people are waiting like more than 5 minutes, or the connection drops, like people are moving to a different supplier. So you really need to be fast with addressing those needs and being there. So that's also very, very important to look at. So how can we make this B2B experience and all this human engaging? Because at the end, it's in my view, with few things, with conversational marketing, and this is what I want to talk to you about, a little bit of email marketing and social engagement. So let's look into it. So conversation, the bot, the chat, it's more around shortening that sales cycle. I will show you how, understanding the customer needs and create more human buying experience. I'm not saying that you need to dive into conversation marketing completely, but have that second net, meaning like if they don't fill in the form, have that second option, and that's conversational marketing. And at the end, if we look at this how we were communicating before COVID-19, it was informal, always on, it was like very casual. But when we wanted to buy, we always wanted to have that instant response, like when we buy an Apple device, like very personalized, separate from the others, and have that great experience. The same way we are also online. And the key to that is live chat. But live chat has some if we look at this data, we can have that you have that opportunity rate of conversion and response rate. So you have those white papers of case studies, maybe you have a webinar, when you have a contact us form, but with live chat you have that real time during work hours, and that's the biggest issue. But here's the problem of live chat: it's limited to working hours. It's many times you're separating not able to separate sales and support. It's like you don't know who is coming on your website. So you don't have a strategic visitor identification. You cannot, and very, very, very important, you don't know when your actual customers or the VIP leads are coming back to your website. You don't know that. So you need to have that visibility, because time to close, time to react, it's so important. So visitor identification, you cannot. Sorry, I was just hearing myself. I think it was. So that, I think we combine it with chatbot and live chat, and I will show you how we do that. You can use intercom. The idea is to combine these two, the chatbot and the live chat. And if we look at the HubSpot data, so if you go on hubspot.com/COVID data, they did some really great benchmarks. You can see that today the conversations, meaning that chat, it's growing like crazy. So it's growing more and more. People are going into getting support and sales, and they want to talk to a human. So we'll skip this. This is what's important. Now, how we create this. So what's important? And I gave you this blueprint, so you can start working on this. But I will explain you in a nutshell what are the most important things to have in place when you build a chatbot or a conversational marketing. So first thing is on the about the what page are they on? So you want to personalize what are those pages? Is it a home page? Is it a educational? Is it a blog? If it's a case study, then who are these people? It's very important to identify. Are these anonymous? Are they returning? Are they targeted accounts, meaning I have them in their list? Are they in my ideal customer profile? And I know this data because I integrated it with my CRM, and this don't think technically, like this flow of data is there, so you can identify these things. So then you ask yourself, okay, where do I want to, where did they come from actually? Did they come directly? Did they come from a webinar event? Did they come from a blog content? Did they come organically from an ad? So then we look why, like what should we do with them? And here is the key of the chatbot, right? Like those questions. So everything, the what, who, and where happens in the background, but then you want to understand, okay, what do I put them a question? Do I evaluate them? And then later on, where do I direct them? What is that direction that I give to them? So this is very, very important to understand when building that. And this is in a very I know it can be like, again, another bunch of slides and a lot of things, but bear with me. I can explain it because it's very easy. So the first thing, you know where they're coming from, where they are, and who they are. Yeah. So then I know, okay, I need to engage with them. Based on this information, I need to engage with them. I can greet them. I can then respond to any kind of, understand what they need, so I can put them questions, and then I can recommend. Simple. Engage, understand, recommend. And then based on this recommendation, I know where I send them. Do I send them to sales? Do I send them to another content? Do I send them to support if you are having a product, right? So I can show you later on some examples live. You can test some of our chatbots. So you will see it's simple. It's based on this: engage, understand, recommend, right? So I gave you with the help from the guys from Drift. And this is not necessarily Drift. You can do it with any tool. Doesn't matter. The point is to start building that hybrid of chatbot and conversation. Here's a link where we put this whole blueprint, so you will be able to build it. It's a Google Sheet file, so you see all these frameworks. So email. Yes, still the king and not going anyway. Not going away. We know that, and this is a whole different story again, email marketing. But I will give you here some resources because we are reaching the end, so we can jump into question. I will give you resources so you can go and make sure you set up everything. So again, we go back to HubSpot. We see that email sent, sales email sent, and the response to that during COVID-19 is going down. So we can see that. But surprisingly, or not for some, marketing emails are going up, which means that content type of emails, they are booming because we are promoting content, webinars, all kind of studies, so on and so forth. So step one, please, if you have forms, follow up with them. Like 58% don't follow up. Like if you out of ideas what copy to do, check this out. Goodsalesemails.com, goodemailcopy.com. There are examples and actual funnels from big tech companies. So if you want to download the intercom, what kind of emails they use, you can do that. If you want to download the outreach emails of Drift, it's there, all free. You just download it, start using it. Again, personalized, you think about what's in the past. Now, what we recommend though is to add video to your messages. And this is with Drift Video, with Vidyard, with Soapbox from Vistia. They are really cool. There are a few things. Drift Video, you can combine video and chat. So 70% of the screen will be the video, that message, and then on the other side you have chat, so you can interact. Vidyard is totally free, and during COVID they really included some nice premium features. Or Soapbox, which is easy, different, fast, and really great UX. So these are some tools that you can implement. Now, we also included some kind of framework, again, with the help of guys from Drift, on how to actually do those videos, because sometimes we have that fear, okay, what kind of videos we should do. And this is a framework that it's on drift.com/blog/great sales video. So if you go there, you will have the resource, and it's then the other thing is, okay, what should I say in the video? So you have the framework of what should I say. You get covered also there, conversational marketing, video vault, bunch of videos, examples, what things you can say in your videos. So when it comes to email, like I included in the free mini course, I will give you the link so you have also all these videos again, and also all the resources. So there I included a lot of don'ts and do's. There are a lot of them, but it's really important what to do and what not to do. I don't go into that because we don't have time. Social engagement on LinkedIn. So again, save all the leads in Sales Navigator. So all the leads you have in CRM, save them there. Monitor who is sharing content and engage with them and send emails. If you do at least that 15 minutes a day, believe me, you will start doing a bit of social selling, but at least do that. So we included all this in a 6-week growth marketing mentorship program. We have 6 modules, over 30 videos. We have 7 guest instructors, some from Google, Salesforce, Drift. We do mentorship calls. If you want to learn more, we will give you the links, also all the templates and so on. Now, that's about it. This is the end, and we are ready to rock and roll with any kind of questions from you.
So thanks, Romeo. You can take maybe some water break or something. The session has been amazing, packed with really practical information. So I really appreciate you taking the time to give so much rich, content around best practices and how to convert leads and so on. So a really good session, I'd say. We can dive into the topics of today, and the Q&A. Some of the questions have been addressed before, so when everybody registered, and we can tackle some of those questions if you like, or if the audience joining us today has questions, please do ask in the chat pane or just come off mute and address your questions. So let's get going with the questions that we had from the audience in the registration forms. Is that okay with you, Romeo?
Yeah, I will just drop meanwhile the link. So if you register here to the mini course, you'll also have all those resources that I mentioned about.
Okay.
So in the chat, you will find the link.
Amazing.
Yeah, like shoot, like maybe some of them I don't know the answer, but then we can do it. I didn't put the questions here, but maybe you can tell us the.
I have them. Yeah, sure. So Jamie Armstrong from Soprano Design is asking, what are some innovative digital tactics to invest to help increase B2B lead generation? And during the course, I've noticed that you actually addressed a few of those, like, for example, Quora, right? Quora paid advertising, or the LinkedIn approach. Or do you want to share some more? Or do you want to do a brief summary?
One good that works now, I think, but it's also LinkedIn. Instead of sponsored ads, might make the email ads, but focus on content. So don't sell, especially now, like anything, but build that buyer enablement. And within the ad, put a video. I can maybe show you. Can just jump into my LinkedIn. So basically, what we saw that I don't know, maybe it's this region here in Central Eastern Europe that we saw really low numbers with that. So I can just 1 second. Let me go into this campaign, and then I can just show you the actual views. Yeah, let me. This is the last few days. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so look at this. We have here email webinar Salesforce promotion, right? This is the, and if we look, we spent 2.7 euros, like really low in the last 7 days. And look at this, we have 15 clicks, and we are bidding 0.2 cents on one. That's how much we pay, and we have 55% CTR for those. So
that's
now,
amazing.
Yeah. So now think why it works. It only works because it's remarketing. Like if you do this with people that don't know you, it will not work because they don't know who the hell you are, right? So that's simple as that. And if even if we go to LinkedIn, and I can just show you the ad. Here is the ad. So that what also the copy, right? So it says, okay, it's not LinkedIn member. This is changed. This is just a demo here because I send it to myself. So it in the first line, I know that emails are annoying, right? I'm emphasizing, and this is another story about how to write the copy and so on. And then I said, I believe this is worth it. Look, blah blah blah, and then I write the whole copy to invite them to the webinar. And in the end, I say, P.S. I made a video message. Maybe that is more fun, and you'll see that I'm a real human, right? So I emphasize the fact that I know that a lot of automation is there. I know that it might be annoying, but this is different. Check this video. So this type of strategies, it's something that we always like think of and see, okay, what type of strategy could work out there. I hope that helps, Like
Yeah,
those are some of them.
and I know that maybe many people are looking right now, you know, what's the next digital innovation and what's the next thing to do. But before that, maybe we should also look into the traditional ones, as you were saying, let's do email right, because it still works, right? So, and for example, if you want real innovation, let's look at real innovation even within the channels that we know. For example, there is a way to do personalized email marketing, but in an automated way. There's amazing tools out there that increase your engagement by email with 40%. So let's look at traditional channels, but let's do it with today's technology, right? So I believe that there's plenty to do, and you shared great tips today with this one. So I hope that Jamie got at least a few insights into what he can do for B2B lead generation. Piotr Kulka from Micro Solutions asks about what tools do you refer to manage sophisticated communication and marketing system all in one? Is there any tool like this?
Yeah, HubSpot.
I know.
I mean, you know, the thing is that with tools you can, there are so many out there, and there will be a bunch of them out there, and at one point you can feel that you created the Frankenstein of marketing tools, like you have a bunch of them. But to be honest, I work with so many of them, like really a bunch of them, and I can only recommend HubSpot, Drift, Salesforce, Intercom, these type of tools. I would not recommend the tools that are not ready yet to go out there in the and support your growth and scaling, right? So even if you start with HubSpot with the lower tier and then slowly go up on that's good. If you're more technical, use Drift. It's very versatile, but you need some coding abilities out there, and we use it a lot for email personalization. So yeah, but and look at native integrations. Don't try as much as possible not to use Zapier as much as possible.
Yeah, I totally agree to this. What you have to know is that both Man Digital and NNC services are HubSpot partners. So we are on the HubSpot channel, and not only can we actually testify for using it ourselves, because as HubSpot partners, we have to use it ourselves. So it's based on our own experience of what we've achieved, but we help many customers implement marketing technology, and there's a fit, as Romeo was saying, there's different tools for different types of companies, but we see pretty much the same. So I would outline that marketing technology is important. I would underline what Romeo was saying about the native integration being very important to really automate your work and not produce more complications into your marketing activities. So yeah, definitely. I guess, who asked this? Piotr. I guess, Piotr, you can reach out to Romeo just to see, you know, what's the best fit for you going forward. So Tomasz from BitCloud is asking, hi, the question I ask myself are, where to find a client's group cryptocurrency exchange platform, and how to prospect them indirectly. We do not have enough time to do this directly. It's not efficient. Romeo, do you have any thoughts about that?
Cryptocurrency. We only work with B2B type of organizations. So I don't want to say anything about cryptocurrency because I don't know.
Okay, okay. In general, again, we work with some cryptocurrency tools, but in general, what I would advise is that there are client groups. For example, in this case, look at Telegram groups. for networking. And to prospect them indirectly, you can definitely put together a lot of knowledge. You can even curate knowledge. So one of the things, for example, we're successfully doing these days, we are curating the best data knowledge up there, and we are putting together short videos daily on LinkedIn, where people that in our network of contacts that follow us can see directly this type of information, which would take them days or weeks or months to figure out. Okay, so put together information like this. First of all, it takes less if you don't have time to produce huge content pieces, right, and original content pieces. But second of all, do provide something of value, so don't waste your time. Another example was Romeo's Post-it note written by hand, right? You can just do a series of those and just, you know, daily post-its, for example, on the group about a short tip or a short advice, right? Do provide, for example, in such groups, I've seen a lot of engagement around things like questions, okay? For example, if one of your platform participants has a question, do ask it in this group. First of all, you will get many interactions and more feedback for your platform participant. But second of all, you will also be able to draw from that conversation and do that hook that Romeo was talking about to drive them to the platform, right? So there's plenty of ways to engage indirectly. I believe that you're still in a B2B play, if I'm not mistaken, with your business type, but we can definitely talk afterwards. So maybe Romeo and myself will reach out to you and do a call together or to help you more. Karim Buzan from Terios is asking how to sell telemedicine during the pandemic. Any thoughts, Romeo?
I would like to know also.
Okay. So it very much depends what you mean, how to sell telemedicine. Karim, do you happen to be with us today? I'm not sure if you are part of the crowd. If so, do unmute and try to provide us with a bit more details. No? So I guess Karim is not with us. I thought I saw him earlier, so maybe he didn't stay for after hours Q&A session. Now, why I ask this is because as far as I know, telemedicine is actually a platform business, which means that it would involve participants like medical assistants, medical doctors, and other types of medical advice, people that could provide medical advice via a platform where you have also end consumers, right? But you can also have these consumers can be B2B, like you can have companies that want to buy into a telemedicine type of a product, or you can have end consumers, which is someone like me or anybody else that needs advice in telemedicine. So based upon what you're asking, are you asking about selling the concept more to the platform participants to get more doctors and medical staff to be included? Are you trying to sell to B2B? Are you trying to sell to B2C, which is the end, you know, participant? Based on that, we can continue the conversation from there. So Colleen, maybe reach out to me and Romeo and we can set up a call to understand better where is your challenge and how we may be able to help. There's a ton of data right now around telemedicine. It's one of the very fast growing domains. So please use the wave to grow your business. Let's see if there are other questions from in the chat pane. So I see a few of these. Maciek asks about, in your opinion, Romeo, how to assess if lead is warm enough to be reached out by sales team. So in your opinion, how to assess if a lead is warm enough to be reached out by a sales team? What do you think, Romeo?
Depends on what kind of like what's the, and I know everybody hates the answer depends, but depends what you sell, right? Like if it's a high stake type of service, or you're selling like $100 per month type of product, right? But it's no harm, and if you see that they engaged with your content, meaning ebook, webinar, so on, to just reach out and ask, hey, saw that you are in the webinar, how was it? Did you like it? That's it, right? Like you can start a genuine simple question by sales, or let's see, the consultants you have, asking simple questions, right? Now there are tools like also HubSpot, also Drift, and also other CRMs that have something called lead scoring, right? And this lead scoring, it depends on the engagement that your customers have with your leads. So some engagement can be more important than others, right? Like we track how many people register and who from those people actually go on the webinar, and who is asking questions, because there are three different engagement levels, right? So if you ask a question, obviously you have a higher engagement score, means that you will be open to a discussion, right? If you were just in a webinar and you were just listening, obviously you didn't engage, you were just maybe passively listening and meanwhile doing your stuff on the other screen. I do that a lot of times. And that's another level of engagement. So you want to have these tools that will give you that will make you understand those things. Like we use Crowdcast, for example, because it has a native integration with Drip, and it sends me the information. It sends me, okay, Loredana registered, attended, and put a question. Loredana registered but didn't attend. Or who watched the recording. I want to know who watched the recording, because then I know if they, or send them a message, ask them, hey, from 1 to 5, how was the content? Was it good, not good? If they rate you, like use Surveycate or any kind of survey tool, it's a simple email that you send in your, that you embed in no, simple question that you embed in your email, and with one click they rate you. They said it's exciting content. Go out and reach out. So you need to have this kind of signals, and that's why content is the molecule of all digital markets, the main molecule, right? Without content, you don't have these signals. You don't know what's happening. You're just blind, and that's it's simple, genuine. It's like in relationships, like in dating. Like when you should ask her to go out for a date, you need some signals that now is the time I can take her out for a coffee, right? So yeah,
So very
it
insightful.
helps.
Yeah, very insightful, Romeo. I liked especially the your advice about lead scoring, and borrowed from the account-based marketing and account-based sales. There's a ton of methodologies and ways to score leads, even for small companies. So don't just say, I have a small company, so I can do that, or I can't adopt the sales process. The sooner you will, the sooner you'll scale. And Romeo has talked about a ton of technology that you can also use to streamline that. So thanks. This has been a very good question and a very insightful answer, Romeo. Greg Corson addresses a private question. Can Romeo speak to the video email using Vidyard and his experience doing in bulk and privately? So Romeo, do you have any experience with video marketing, especially with tools like Vidyard?
Yeah, like we use a lot the power of this type of tools and the power of video. I mean, it's all the time. This is what we create. So I don't know what kind of information should I give? Like what are you interested in?
Greg, do you want to come off mute and add more details to the question?
Sure. The question is specific to email, right? HubSpot's data demonstrates a large value in emails opened and replied to when a video is attached, personal video. And I'm just curious if you've been using those and what the experience is in an individualized, personalized fashion. And then curious if you've tried it in a bulk fashion where, you know, you are in the corner of your email talking about your services or whatever it is you're promoting at that time.
Yeah, yeah. So I must say I love the idea of video in messages. I'm using it a lot in LinkedIn. I use Drift Video because they have a Chrome extension that is embedded in LinkedIn. So I like to personalize. So what the thing in email, especially in outreach, I tell you the hard part and then the bulk part, the more like hyper personalized and then the bulk part. So the hyper personalized, definitely LinkedIn, maybe an email where I hold my iPad or just a sheet of paper and I put in the first name their name. Like in the first frame, the name of that prospect. Because of so many automated type of tactics in bulk, people, even if you write text, sometimes they tend to believe that it's automated, right? So they don't give attention to that. So what we started to do is to have that hyper personalized, and it's really easy with video. Why is it good? Maybe I can show you some example. Let me just log into LinkedIn. Why this is good is that you have in the message a first frame of that particular video. So yeah. I can show you. Let me show you here because I tested it on my friend in the past. Can you let me share the screen? I don't know. Somebody's sharing now with this Q&A because I cannot share it.
While you're looking, also, if you don't mind, what is the length of time you recommend? Like, what is the, you know, the time that the video length should be?
In the framework, it says 30 seconds. In the between 30 to 1 minute. That's the so here you have this message, and here you can have text wherever. But this is the GIF that you will have. So now imagine that this is the first frame is their name, and now if I click on this, I will have actually the video, right? Like here's the video, and they can see the video, and here is the actual bot that is loading now. If you see, like it's starting to load. So at this point now I'm directed into Messenger and in Drift, and I can write here. And they have also an app on iPhone, so you can create even more personalized like videos with your iPhone. So it's really easy to get started. And the same story goes with VDR. The same story goes with Soapbox from Vistia. So the idea is to share that human touch, that, hey, I'm real. Now in the bulk part, you create similar videos, but you talk more generally, and maybe you emphasize the segment that they are in. So, hey, software house owner, hey, I don't know, maybe you are reaching out to I don't know, restaurant owners, or I don't know, doesn't matter. The point is that you can take the same approach by segmenting your list into, okay, restaurant owners. You can put the message, hey, restaurant owner, and then you have a message to them and you drive the same way, right? You can do that in email. The point is to put that small little gift so they can see that first framework, right? And the same in and imagine you can use the same in email ads, and you can use the same in Sales Navigator, in LinkedIn ads, LinkedIn messages. So yeah, You just need to be creative about that. But I really love like the idea of video, and we should use it more and more, especially now.
Mhm. In that, thanks, Romeo. Very interesting. I am passionate about video marketing. We've started doing it about a month ago. It's amazing the type of results it has, even in an unpersonalized approach. So just sharing interesting content via LinkedIn in a video format, and it works. So do this. The more you do it, the better. You start learning things. I wish I will get at some point to the personalized type of video that you do. So very insightful. Thanks. Diane Furliman, sorry if I don't pronounce it correctly, asks a question. Romeo, in your opinion, is Quora a valid channel for all countries and B2B? What do you think?
Like if we check, similar web, they can tell you like where the traffic comes from. So if we check Quora on similar web, you will be able to see what are the main topics that are there. So like not main topics, like countries. So we can see that US, India, UK, Canada, Australia. So English-speaking countries have the highest, traffic. In some countries where they started to translate, so you have in Poland, they started to translate. In Spanish countries, they made the Quora in Spanish. So these are the countries that really work. And US is like 35% of the traffic. And then the rest is like 6 is UK, 4 Canada, 2.8 it's Australia. So you need to think a little bit about where the traffic goes, but also what we did, because if we would look only at these numbers, because we targeted, let's say, Polish CEOs of software houses, we would say, okay, Quora is not good for us. But you need to think, okay, our client is targeting US clients and UK clients. So they will be there because they want to target those guys. So where are those places where they target their clients? Okay. So Quora in these type of questions, like where is the best software house? What is the best software house in Poland? So if I can I can be there, where they are, that's really relevant. So that's how we thought about it. We reverse think it a little bit. It's the same like with Facebook. Like you would say, don't go on Facebook B2B. I can go to the assistant of the CEO, and I can do a lot of content and make the assistant a champion. And then I give so much content and so much value to the assistant that she will dare to go to the CEO with a new idea, with a new proposal of a tactic of traffic of whatever, and tell, hey, I found these guys, I'm following them for the past 3 months, and look how great they are. And then that way, I know it's a longer time to close and cycle, but these are the ideas. That's why we have buyer's journey. That's why we have so many people involved in there that we need to think about. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, so I also noticed that there's a lot of traction with Quora, even just for link building for SEO. It's amazing. So definitely use it as a channel. And I think that Romeo provided quite some good tips. I also use similar web quite a lot. I also use Google Trends. So if you type in Quora.com on Google Trends, you'll also get feel of how many direct search tips we have on Quora. I'm hearing a bit of an echo, so hopefully you don't. Now, these have been the questions for today. Please remember, this is part of the B2B Growth community platform. We have a support group on LinkedIn and on Facebook. Based on your particular questions, topics that you'd like us to tackle, we will make sure we have valuable guests like Romeo today. So thanks, Romeo. It's been amazing advice and tips. Romeo provided his contact details. You are all going to get an email with the recording and other resources Romeo is going to provide you, and the link to attend the mini course. But also remember, if this was so valuable, how valuable the long course will be. So we're planning on attending, and we have already a few colleagues that are registered for that. I do advise you to register for that course. On top of that, there's an amazing session, of course, coming next week. So maybe Juana, if you are with us, would you like to introduce the next week's topic?
Yes, hi, I'm here. Thank you, Loredana and Romeo, amazing presentation, thank you. Next week we have our friends from Alice Immersive Lab. They are two young Romanian entrepreneurs who have a startup in the virtual and augmented reality strategy and production services, and they will tell us how we can use AR and VR as an asset in our marketing activities and business activities in general, especially during these times when the physical and face-to-face contact needs a virtual substitute. And many think that this is, you know, just B2C stuff like Instagram filters and TikTok, but there are a lot of applications in B2B as well. So join us next Thursday and you will find out how. Okay, thanks, Juana. Again, thanks, Romeo. Please remember to subscribe to our community. I just shared the link for the LinkedIn group, but you can also use the Facebook group. I don't have it at hand. We'll just put it in the presentation that's going to go out to everyone. Thanks again for attending. We've had an amazing viewership. We've had almost 60 participants, Romeo, in the live webinar, and over 300 views on social media. So I guess that talks to the value that you've provided us with today. So thanks again.
You're welcome. Stay safe, guys.